Hi, I'm Shruthi. I want to share with you something special that happened in my life that changed it forever on a day like this, on Christmas Day. It was exactly 16 years ago when I was doing my first year masters in Bombay. Life changed for good and forever. Was my life bad before the change? No, not at all. At least, I've never even thought so in my wildest dreams. My life seemed good. I was born in a middle class family, a family that can provide and cherish. Never seen a lack in my life. Always had everything as needed, but not extravagant, but sufficient. In my growing days, I always thought people change from one fate to other basically because either they had some sickness and they desperately needed healing, or they were poor and they needed some monetary benefit, or in situations where they were lonely, depressed, rejected, or in prisons or under rehabilitation. Those situations I thought they were made use of to change people. But every thought of mine was proved wrong with what I encountered on that Christmas day, 16 years ago. Well, about me, I was a fair performer until my high school level. And in my college, I was an outstanding performer. Came out with a gold medal. I took lots of pride in getting a seat for my master's in one of the most prestigious institute, All India Institute of Physical Medicine. So life was good. Had abundance of love in family, especially with my lovely parents and friendly siblings. So technically, there was no need for me to change or even think of it from the faith that I was in. No sickness, no lack, a good performer, proud of oneself. That was all I was. Sounds boasting, right? In my growing years, I had developed a special, I would rather say a very bad hatred towards Christians because I hated the fact that they were changing people. During my high school, my college, I had few of my close friends who had so-called converted from their own faith to Christianity. With all this, I grew with a strong aversion to Christianity. My life was not perfect. As many others, I also had some disappointments, failures, some wrongdoings, even some very bad habits, etc. But on the whole, I would call it a normal life, a pretty normal life. But as all of us would have some deep secrets, I too had, which I had no confidence to share with anyone just because I did not believe there would be anyone who could learn of your deep secrets and yet treat you well. Let's just pause here for a while. I'm going to take you 16 years back. So it was on this time, on 25th December 2005, for a completely selfish agenda. That is, I wanted to please someone very, very dear to me. So I wanted to go to church. I spoke to one of my friends to bring me to her church. But to be honest, I was very, I would rather call, I did not have any interest to actually go. I learned that the service was between 10 to 12:30. I planned in such a way that I would only reach the church at 12:20 so that I can just leave within 10 minutes. I had no desire to go nor spend time there, but for only my selfish reasons. As I stepped inside the church, I just saw all of them rose up. I understood the service was getting over. Oh, I was so happy that I can leave immediately. But just then, a gentleman walked onto the stage and asked all of them to be seated. I was so disappointed, I just didn't like it. Lo and behold, someone provided me a chair and I had to sit. The person on the stage took a sheet of paper and he said, "There's someone here who has to listen to this." He said, "This is a love letter from your father," and continued to read. "This father has been waiting at your door ever since you were born. Always protected you, provided for you, cared for you, comforted you, even in the time you had not known, not acknowledged, never even thanked, but always continued. He had never stopped to do that. He knew every detail about you, and with so much care, he formed you even in your mother's womb. But your door is shut for him. He keeps knocking, not just once, twice, but n number of times, but you have never opened it." I was like, how can it be? I love my father a lot, and all these things were going within me. I just felt that this cannot be true. But the person continued to say that this Father is none but the God who created you, and the door was your heart. I couldn't stand the fact that God was standing outside my door and that my heart was shut for Him. The very moment I just saw myself opening the door, and from deep inside, I cried out. I said, God, please come and don't stand outside, whoever you are. My life was changed forever at that very minute. I did not know, I should confess, I did not know anything about what Jesus did on the cross for me. But in a week's time, I learned that this God not only created me, this Jesus also died for me, for all my sins, for all my wrongdoings. And you know what? The best part is, I understood Jesus accepts me and loves me as I am. He knows everything about me. Remember, I told you about my dark secrets, and I had no confidence that I could not tell anybody. But I understood Jesus could know your darkest secret and yet love you as you are. He doesn't remind you of your wrong things, and He has forgiven you completely. That gave me life. That changed me forever. And I want to say to you, friends, this life that God has provided, if somebody had to come and ask you who you are, what would you say? Your name, your profession, or perhaps you come from such and such a family? But all that doesn't describe who you are. Who you are and who I am comes from knowing Jesus the Father. I came to know Him on that Christmas day. Not liking Christians, not liking the way they change people. That very day I understood nobody can change anybody. It is a pure touch of Father in heaven above. A touch from heaven on your heart. And my life was changed at that very moment forever. I understood that there is this God, Jesus, who accepts me as I am. He knows everything about me, my deep secrets, yet loves me and accepts me for who I am. No accomplishments, no achievements, and no prideful things. Nothing can match up to this fulfilled life that I now have in Christ.